I'm going to show you how to make cinnamon rolls with cream cheese frosting. It's the weekend, so my husband and I are both off, and we slept in this morning until 10:20 because we have awesome blackout curtains and didn't realize how late it was. And when we woke up, we decided we were super hungry and wanted to make some cinnamon rolls. And of course, we always have mimosas when we bake in the mornings on the weekend. So to make these, you're going to need a stand-up mixer for the frosting, a mixing bowl to make the dough, a rolling pin, a bigger spoon, another spoon, and then a mixing spoon.
For the dough, you need 4 cups of flour, 4 tablespoons white sugar, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, 6 tablespoons of butter, 1.5 cups of milk, I'm using almond milk, and 2 eggs. For the filling, you need 1 cup white sugar, 1 cup brown sugar, and 2 tablespoons cinnamon. And for the frosting, you need 6 cups of powdered sugar, 2 blocks of cream cheese, and 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Okay, so first I'm going to get my big mixing bowl and I'm going to pour the flour, and then I'm going to pour the white sugar. I'm also going to pour the baking powder and the salt. Then I'm going to mix this a little bit to combine everything. Then once I'm done combining all of the dry ingredients, I'm going to go ahead and add the milk, and then I'm going to stir a little bit after I've added just a little bit of the milk. I'm going to keep pouring the milk and slowly combining that together. It can be a little hard to mix at first. You just got to really use your muscle. Once the dry ingredients and the milk are mixed together, it's time to go ahead and add the eggs. And then I'm going to go ahead and keep stirring this with the spoon. Once everything gets pretty well combined, I go ahead and start kneading it with my hands. I knead the dough together for about 2 minutes. And then after 2 minutes, I go ahead and I set the dough aside. And then once the dough's on the counter, I sprinkle a little bit of flour down and really knead the dough into the flour to make it less sticky. And then I knead the dough for about 2 more minutes. After that, I go ahead and kind of flatten it and sprinkle a little more flour on it. Now it's time to get the rolling pin out and start rolling the dough. I like to really work it back and forth one direction until it starts to spread out, and then I'll start going another direction. Something else that really helps is flipping the dough over to roll that side as well, and that can really help it spread out. And the goal is to roll the dough into a nice long rectangle that's uniform in thickness, and the longer the rectangle, the more spiral layers that you will have in your cinnamon rolls. And then once the dough is really spreading out, I go ahead and switch directions that I'm rolling so that the dough gets longer and wider. And after everything's rolled out, it's time to add the filling. I go ahead and melt the butter, and then I use a spoon to drizzle the butter and kind of paint it on. This helps the cinnamon sugar mix stick to the dough. And once the butter is spread all over the dough, it's time to add the cinnamon sugar mix. So I go ahead and get another spoon, mix it up a little bit, and then I take spoonfuls and dump them onto the buttered dough and spread them around. And now it's time to start rolling the dough into spirals to make our cinnamon rolls. I start by folding one edge and then gently starting to roll it. I continue to do this until everything is rolled into one really long log. And next it's time to get the baking dishes prepared. I go ahead and spray them really well with non-stick baking spray. And then I go ahead and sprinkle the cinnamon sugar filling mix onto the bottom of the pans. And now it's time to cut the cinnamon rolls. So I'm going to use a pizza cutter to go ahead and cut 1-inch portions off the log to make the individual cinnamon rolls, and then I'm going to place them into the pan. I'm going to go ahead and continue doing this, laying the cinnamon rolls side by side in the pan until everything is cut. This recipe will make enough cinnamon rolls to fill 2 13-inch pans. After the cinnamon rolls are in the pan, I like to drizzle more of the cinnamon sugar filling on top. And then I go ahead and put them in the oven at 400 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. And while the cinnamon rolls bake, I go ahead and make the frosting. First I add the softened cream cheese, and then the melted butter. And then I go ahead and turn on the mixer, starting slowly at first until everything mixes together. Once everything starts to kind of mix together, I go ahead and start adding the powdered sugar. I like to use a big metal spoon to slowly put a little bit of powdered sugar into the mixer at a time. Once all of the powdered sugar is in the mixer, I go ahead and turn the mixer to high and let this whip together for about 2 minutes. And then once the cinnamon rolls come out of the oven, it's ready to frost them. I start by putting a few globs of frosting on the top, and then after I've got a little bit down, I go ahead and spread that around with the knife to fully cover the cinnamon rolls. And then once they're frosted, they're ready to enjoy. These are super yummy, and I hope you love them as much as we do. Thank you for watching!